birth of Moses, God's protection and plan. Long ago in Egypt, the Israelites lived as slaves under Pharaoh's rule. But God blessed them and their families grew larger and stronger. Pharaoh became afraid that the Israelites would become too powerful. Pharaoh angrily said, "If the Hebrews grow too numerous, they might rise against us." So Pharaoh made a cruel order. Every Hebrew baby boy must be thrown into the Nile River. It was a heartbreaking time for the Israelites. Mothers and fathers cried, fearing for their children's lives, but even in this dark time, God had a plan. A Hebrew woman named Jochebed gave birth to a baby boy. She looked at her son and knew he was special. With love in her heart, Jochebed whispered, "I can't let anything happen to you." For 3 months, Jochebed hid her baby, keeping him safe from Pharaoh's soldiers. She knew she couldn't hide him forever, but she trusted God to protect her child. When the baby grew too big to hide, Jochebed made a difficult decision. She wove a basket from reeds and coated it with tar to keep it waterproof. Then, with tears in her eyes, she placed her baby inside. She whispered, "Lord, watch over him." Jochebed set the basket among the reeds on the edge of the Nile River, hoping someone kind would find him. The baby's sister, Miriam, hid nearby, watching over the basket to see what would happen. Miriam whispered, "Please God, keep him safe." Later that morning, Pharaoh's daughter came to the river to bathe. She saw the basket floating among the reeds and asked her servant to bring it to her. When she opened the basket, the baby was crying. Pharaoh's daughter softly said, "Oh, this must be one of the Hebrew babies." She felt sorry for the child and decided to keep him. Miriam stepped out of her hiding place and spoke bravely, "Shall I find a Hebrew woman to nurse the baby for you?" Pharaoh's daughter replied, "Yes, go." Miriam ran to get her mother, and Jochebed returned, overjoyed to hold her son again. Jochebed cared for her baby until he was old enough to live in Pharaoh's palace. The princess named him Moses, which means drawn out of the water. Pharaoh's daughter said, "I will raise him as my own." Moses grew up in the palace, but God had chosen him for a much greater purpose. One day, Moses would lead his people out of slavery and into freedom.